Hello everyone, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television. I'm here with Barb Theroux, who's the President of the Friends of the Library, and we're going to talk about a new initiative coming from the library to encourage everyone in TV land to consider starting a book club.
Or to read a book.
Oh yeah, we'll take it where we can get it. But you had mentioned before tape was rolling that February is Library Lovers Month.
It's Library Lovers Month, and there are several programs going on in the library during the month that celebrate the book and the reader. So the Friends of the Library had a generous donation of new boxes of new books that had been, well, they were donated to us because what they were initially purchased for no longer exists. So we kept racking our brain, what can we do?
Yeah.
Well, during Library Lovers Month, we
The
now
February.
have book group selection bags.
Looking good. I've got one to show you folks at home too. So these bags have about 10 books in them
Yeah,
that
10.
are the same. So if the
Right.
people get the drift, like here, I've got a title, Why Fish Don't Exist by Lulu Miller. There are 10 copies of Why Fish Don't Exist in this shopping bag. So I'm going to second guess that if somebody wanted to start a book club, they were interested in a title, they had friends they thought would enjoy reading and talking about the book, they just come down here and get it.
Yeah, and we'll tell you where in a bit.
Okay.
I have Rosewater by Tade Thompson. This is a fiction title. Most of the books have some sort of science relation, not all of them, but most of them about science and futuristic and things, so there might be that part of the theme. And as I say, there are 13 different titles.
And at least 10 books of that title
Right. All
in
new
these
copies.
bags.
in
They're
these
all
bags.
new copies. So if you want to start a book group of your own, you can offer your friends brand new books that are theirs to keep
Right.
after you read them and have the discussion. Now, I've seen a lot of book groups. I've had a lot of friends say, "Oh, what time is it? Oh, I gotta go." Or not Thursday. That's the night of my
That's
book
when I have
group.
book club.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what are they like typically? You must
There are
have
a
gone
lot of book groups
and a lot
in
of
town.
variations, right?
Yes, a lot of book groups. In fact, I belong to two. One of them now meets totally by Zoom because several of the people have moved away from Missoula
Mm.
and they still wanted to be involved with discussions.
Right.
So we have a Zoom discussion group, which is handled through Fact and Fiction. So if anybody's interested in maybe a Zoom book club, you can go to the Fact and Fiction website and find out some more. I also belong to another group that was formed many years ago. And we facetiously are called the book club that doesn't read.
Why is that?
Well, because instead of having 10 people read the same book and somebody lead a discussion and talk about it, one person tells us about a new book and how they selected it, and then has questions to ask related to the book. So
Oh.
we became known as the book club that doesn't read. Not everybody likes that name, but it seemed to fit.
And in this instance, you guys tell each other about potential books to read.
Yeah, or we report on a book,
Yeah.
and maybe people will read it, maybe
Yeah.
they won't, but at least they know about it. And a lot of times it's a new book, and then people will know about it and go out and read it. Or
Well, I would like to impress the viewer with the social possibilities of the book club. Meaning, like, I've been in instances where people play games and the game keeps people busy. You see, and then there's opportunity
right.
to talk and visit. So I kind of imagine book clubs in this way. Like each one is going to be different. But let's say you felt pent up, dear viewer, by your COVIDical or the cabin fever of a Missoula winter, right? And you are thinking, gee, it'd be nice for people to get together, but I don't really want to get together and watch a movie. Like it's so passive. People fall asleep, they grunt, they just, they do stuff. But book clubs are interesting because people can work on the club on their own behind the scenes.
Right.
You're reading the book. So let's say you want to learn a bit, more about why fish don't exist from Lulu Miller. You could come to the library. You can pick up a box of this bag, rather, of 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say you have 5, 6, or 7 friends. 10 may be pushing it. I don't know. Let's say you got these friends and you say, hey, you want to join a book club, or maybe, 2 or 3 people can come to the library, examine the books.
Yeah.
You can look up anything online and learn more about it. The books have descriptions on the back, or sometimes they have a little intriguing summary. My book has a story of loss, love, and the hidden order of life. And then it's emblazoned with the national bestseller, so you're getting something. So I'm just offering that invitation because the library is offering that invitation. This can be a fun way to socialize.
Yes, you can use this to start your own book group,
Yeah.
or if you're already in a book group, you can use these for a monthly selection down the line, or, because sometimes it's hard to choose a book.
Yeah. Now, you've done the book club. Could you address this a little bit? I don't know. I don't want to be too esoteric about it, but, so a card game, people are, they're talking and they're doing stuff unless it's some serious poker. Like, would you testify? Would you tell the people you've learned a lot about your fellow book club members by being a member of the book club and engaging in a discussion of ideas or emotions, or what is that like?
It's another step into expanding friendships, expanding a community of, whether they be readers or eaters or cooks, chefs, whatever.
Yeah, because people go to book clubs and they drink wine.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
The book club doesn't read, eats together because we have a potluck.
Right.
But yeah, so it's just another way to have a conversation. Some people get together for basketball or football games. Well, get together around a book. Yeah. And that book may lead you in many different directions and may encourage you to go to other. Well, it might even be a movie. You might go to a movie. You might go to a talk that's in town because somebody's coming in to talk about, say, climate change or one of the topics of a book. Or maybe the author's even in town. That does happen in Missoula.
Yeah, we got some writers. And we have something to say about that. Before I leave the product, I'm going to show it to you again. It's easily carried. You don't need like a pickup truck to start your book club. You can come and get this sort of like sack of groceries, a little smaller, after you choose your title.
And I need to tell you where they are. They are in the library. They are on the 3rd floor in the demo kitchen. The reason we went to the demo kitchen is that it had enough space. It has a table that we can display individual copies of the books so you can see what you're getting. And then the bags, if they can be, are stapled shut, so you just pick up the bag and go.
Yeah.
But we wanted to have it in a place where people could browse through the titles and keep it away from the 1st floor store merchandise area, because if they're free, we didn't want to have confusion in any of that level.
That makes sense.
So head to the kitchen.
Yeah, kitchen on 3rd floor, southeast corner.
And look for the book group selection bags.
And there's an elevator, 2 of them in fact, for the public. So don't get scared that it's on the 3rd floor. Now, is this open anytime the library's open, or are there specific days and times?
No, it's open. The idea is we have many books and we want to get rid of as many as possible. So it's open any of the hours the library's open.
Oh, wow. And that's 62 hours a week, dear viewer. You can come Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to
62
8.
hours.
Yeah, because we person the MCAT counter, so I had to put that in the budget, right? The hours are 9 to 8 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then 9 to 6 on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then noon to 5 on Sundays.
Yeah, so if your family comes for some of the other programming or children's programming or just to pick up your books, just head to the 3rd floor and take a look and see what's there.
Yeah, and it's absolutely free. I mean, it's kind of shocking. There are some things, one of which coming up so soon I don't want to mention it, but We'll
One's
put,
already happened,
Yeah,
so
right.
we can't mention it.
so here, February 25th is enough lead time for me to put this clip on Facebook and also get it on the MCAT cable channel. And this is called a Book Clubber Soiree, February the 25th, 2 to 4 p.m. in the Cooper Room on the 4th floor. And it says here, and I'll quote, "Book clubs from across Missoula are invited to join us for the Mother of All Book Club gatherings, a free event headlined by novelist and the retired UN professor Deirdre McNamer, who's the author of My Russian Aviary and more. The soiree will also feature Missoula Public Library resources for clubs, tips for facilitating difficult discussions, and a book club-oriented book fair. And that's sponsored by Missoula Public Library Foundation. Once again, that's February 25th from 2 to 4.
And that's book clubs, the foundation. This is a good foundation event. While we were raising funds for the new library, the book club that doesn't read donated money and then challenged other book groups to donate money.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I think we ended up with 25 to 30 book groups in this vicinity that donated money to help fund the library.
Yeah, that's great.
And Dee McNamer has been a longtime faculty member, creative writing department, has several books, and her new book, Avery is set in Missoula and is coming out in paperback shortly before this program, I believe.
Oh.
Or if it's not out by the time of the program, it will be shortly after.
Shortly thereafter.
And the library has kits, not like we're promoting here, but the library does have book chat kits, which will also be on display. And what they are, they're a canvas bag that one person checks out and distributes to the member of their book club. And included in those kits are some discussion questions and perhaps some information from publishers to help you with the chat that you want to have.
Just
So-
as it mentioned here too, you
Right.
know, tips for facilitating difficult discussions. But I think, you know, novices, they may want just tips like how do we do this? You know, like people will be like, I read the book, but does it work better if you structure it? Does it work better if each person, you know, gets to lead on a little bit of a topic? Does it work better if you got like one of those salt timers?
Probably a salt timer.
You know, because some
works,
people
but-
sometimes say, hold that floor.
And a lot of
so
people
on.
want to have information about the author.
Oh, sure.
So that's a good thing to do, just to say who it is, especially if they're
Yeah.
Montana authors that people might not know.
Yeah.
Or maybe some people have, but not everybody in the book club knows. That
Right.
They live across the street. you
Yeah.
know?
I think it's kind of swell. You know, there's wonderful aspects to having everybody over for the Super Bowl or having the poker party, or I used to play something like Hearts or something like that with a
Yeah.
family. And that part, you know, you're interested in the game, and the game is the reason to get together, so nobody feels too self-conscious about getting together and visiting. So I feel like a book club could sort of work the same way, you know, like it's not as much pressure as like a bowling league. You know?
No.
And you got to show up for these like sport things, tennis or pickleball, bowling. Like if you don't show up, it's a big deal. Book club, I kind of feel like it's a little more mellow, and yet at the same time, it's like a little deeper. Like you get to know the person better because you're talking about sometimes, you know, some personal topics, emotional topics, what have you.
Yeah, and a lot, I don't know, I haven't noticed recently, but I think it's still happening. The Roxy has movies based on books, movies that were made from books. So they encourage people to read the book and then come and look at the movie
Yeah.
and find out pros and cons of did they
Right.
really stick with the plot of the book.
Ah.
And right now, this is not one of the Roxy ones, but right now Women Talking is at the Roxy, and it is based on a book, a very popular best-selling book. So I think it helps to either read the book beforehand, or if you like a movie, say, okay, I want to see how it matches up with the book. So a lot of people are doing that. So maybe that's another idea for a book club.
It combines the thing, you know, that going to movies very popular. You know, it's in a way it's supplanted reading, for the base of the
Right.
population, right? We go back Montana 100 years ago, people passed these long cold evenings, you know, holding on to whatever they could in a book with whatever light they had. And it puts me in mind of a pretty good book and movie joke. And this is it, that, you know, man goes in and observes like another guy at the movies with a dog on his side. And the dog seems to be like, you know, looking at the screen like so avidly. Stop me if you've heard this.
No, I haven't.
Well, the dog is like reacting and smiling at stuff, you know, like almost barking at the different emotional scenes. So the guy can't help me. He says, I can't help but notice like your dog was so into the movie. And the guy replies, yeah, I'm surprised too. He hated the book.
Oh. Oh.
Oh. Anyway, that's the book joke. I better recap and then we better
And then
sign
I
off.
was going to say, and then we have another
Oh,
event
well,
to talk
that's
about.
true. We better talk about Marcy's event. So once again, the event that we're pushing here at you, dear viewer, patient viewer, Book Clubbers Soiree, February the 25th, 2 to 4 p.m. in the Cooper space here at the library, 455 East Main Street, 4th floor. There's an elevator to take you up there. And this would be very good if you're a member of a book club or would like to start one. And you would also hear from UM professor novelist Deirdre McNamer at that time. There's another event on the very last day of February that we'd like to apprise you of, and that is February 28th, 6 to 7 p.m. In the Cooper Space B. Local artist Marcy James, who has really beautiful photos up there now. She's going to discuss her exhibit, No Man's Land, the Library, and she'll be joined by Radius Gallery owner Lisa Simon, PhD. Lisa also taught adjunct at university, you know, when she first came to town. The discussion follows Lisa's popular 10 questions format, and audience members are encouraged to participate with their own questions.
Yeah, and Marcy's art has been at the Radius, and she does have some of it upstairs now on the 4th floor of the library, so she'll talk about it. Marcy has been a book club member.
Oh, is that right? Have you been in a book
Yes,
club with her?
I have been in a book club with her.
See?
So it was really nice to kind of catch up with Marcy and talk about things. So, so that's another thing. The book is art.
Yeah, that's right. And that event I went to, there was someone making an art book.
Well, yeah.
That was kind of cool. Books as art. And sometimes we see them here in the library that people donate these fascinating books that are not seen by the general public until they make their way into the bookstore. But some of them are so tacky and old. Like there's one down there now called Rome. Oh, it's this huge thing that looked like it was left out during the Pompeii trouble, you know. In any event, we are carrying on. We should let the dear viewer go. But once again, we want to highlight from our visit 3 things. There are books for free, the same title in enough number that you could start your own book club and choose from 13 different titles.
While they last.
While they last. And you heard it here first. And then on February 25th, there's an event from 2 to 4 that will support book club members. Whether you're starting one, you're in one, you're going to want to go to the book club soiree on the 25th. And then related are Marcy James photos that include book spines and the art of the book. And there will be an exhibit talk on February 28th from 6 to 7.
All to celebrate February is Library Lovers Month.
Library Lovers Month. And Barb, I want to thank you for taking the time.
Well,
It's
thank
so
you,
nice
Joel.
of you. Yes, you're most welcome. And I want to thank you, dear viewer, for watching this episode about events at the library. February is Library Lovers Month. If you have any questions about what we said, and we talked about it so long, you completely
I can't imagine
forgot
questions. Yeah.
what we were talking about. You can always call the library for more information about book club starting.
And remember, books, a book club in a bag.
Yeah. The number is 721-2665, or that's 721-BOOK on if you have an old-fashioned phone. Nobody.
Well, you still have to put those numbers in your phone.
I think the letters are on mobile phones. So 721-BOOK. If anything we talked about interested you, there'll be someone on the other end of the line to explain it. So for MCAT, I'm Joel Baird with Barb Theroux. Thanks for watching.